good, Phin Nation? Welcome to FinTech, the #1 show for the Miami Dolphins here at FIU. It's your boy, Esteban Big Guapo Rodriguez.
I'm Alfredo, the leader of Two and On.
And it's your boy, Ant, the truth.
And it's still currently bye week, so we got nothing really to recap on. So instead, we're just going to be giving out mid-season awards. We're talking about the best players of the year, worst players of the year. So, yeah, let's get started.
So we're going to start off with Offensive Player of the Year. I think you guys, my pick is pretty obvious in my opinion, but I want to know what you guys think first.
The leader of Tuna, I wonder.
See, let me think, bro. Which players elevated our offense, surprised us more than anybody, who's become the leader of the team, MVP candidate, has us sitting at 7-3, undefeated when he plays a whole game? That's Tua, bro.
Tua Tagovailoa, offensive player
Tua's our guy.
of the year.
My offensive player of the year. Maybe I'm extremely biased, but he's my guy.
No, bro. At the beginning of the season, I would have said yes, extremely biased. But, numbers don't lie. Yeah, you're right. He is undefeated every time he plays a full game. He does change the whole atmosphere every time he comes back. When he was injured, it was a really low point for the Miami Dolphins. And then when he came back, started winning again. So you know what? I agree, man.
Highest rated passer in the league for a reason.
He earned it.
Well, wait, who's yours though?
Tua.
Also Tua?
Tua.
All right.
I would say Tua as well, but just to be different, I'll say Tyreek. He's been
That's a fair shout.
He's been consistent all season. Even when Tua wasn't there, he was still putting up numbers. Leads the league in yards. Just one of the best acquisitions we've made in a long time.
I agree. I think Tua's still my pick, but I think it's a solid pick because he's also really solidified himself as, I think, the best receiver in the league, which that was in doubt when he was in Kansas City all these years. So that's a fair shout in my opinion.
Yeah, all right. So defensive player of the year, I got Javon Holland.
I agree.
Yeah?
I agree.
Who else? Who else are you going to pick? But Javon Holland consistently making the tackles, putting on the pressure, literally doing everything on the field on the defensive side.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Jalen Phillips, though. I think he's been exceptional for us on the line this year. But I agree, Javon Holland's stepped up as the leader of the defense, as the captain he deserves to be. So, yeah, I agree. Javon Holland's probably been the best defensive player.
Are we unanimous?
I would say that as well, but also to be different again, I'll just say Jerome Baker. He's
Jerome Baker's also been really
he's
good.
Steady.
Jerome Baker's a good shot.
He's always steady, just a good run stopper, good in the pass too. So just someone that you can always count on to make the right play. Has had a few mishaps, but so has everyone on the team. So, but right. Holland, like you said, it's just a beast.
Okay, so
and his second year too.
All right, so to avoid any repeats, all right, why don't you start off with for most surprising player of the year so far?
I don't know if this would count just because we just got him, but Jeff Wilson.
I was going to say that.
Hold on.
No. Stick with this. I got a different one too.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
All right, Jeff Wilson. He's just been an amazing acquisition. We've talked about him every week since he's been here so far. Just such a good running back, underrated. Undrafted rookie, so well, not a rookie this year, but just came out of the league undrafted. So really like his game, really like what he's bringing to the team so far.
I'm actually going to pick his partner in the rushing game, Raheem Mostert. The run game was probably the weakest part of the offense going into the season, and even in the first couple weeks. And then when the depth chart came out in the preseason, him and Chase Edmonds were listed as the 2 first-team backs. So there was big questions about who was going to take the majority of the snaps. Obviously, we saw what happened with Chase Edmonds. And Raheem Mostert, I think, is, especially during the time that Tua was out, really stepped up as the #1 running back. And obviously, we got the run game some help in Jeff Wilson. But I think he's been definitely my most surprising because he's exceeded my expectations personally. Every other player that's been good on the offense has played up to par. I think you can think of like Tua, Teron Armstead, obviously Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. They've performed up to expectations because we hold them to a high standard. So that's why Raheem Mostert's my pick. He's been really good, has had a 100-yard rushing game. We haven't seen that for a Dolphins running back in a long time.
All right. And I'm going to choose Trent Sherfield. Because yes.
Also a fair shout.
Yes, he's not Tyreek. He's not Jalen. He's not putting up the same numbers as him, but he's always been there when he needed to be.
He's a dependable third wide receiver.
He's a dependable third wide receiver. When Jalen's covered, Tyreek's covered, Tua got no one to throw to. throw it up to 14, he's gonna make the grab.
Yeah.
You know, he's not gonna put up as many yards because he's not gonna get as many targets. But you know, when he needs to catch the ball, he's there for you consistently.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of what Matt Collins was for the Dolphins last season, or the last 2 years, really. Like, didn't get a lot of targets, but contributed every time the ball was thrown his way.
I agree, yeah. Upgrade on those, like, mid receivers that we've had, like Will Fuller, people who just didn't produce for us. So he's definitely someone who can make a play when you need it.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago, like even last year, he would have been our number one wide receiver for the first part, at least until Jalen Waddle really came up.
Yeah.
But man, having Devontae Parker as your number one wide receiver over the last couple of years is poverty.
It's tough.
All right, so now let's move on to the award you came up with.
Oh, yes, the award.
Bozo of the season.
Bozo of the season. This has been the absolute howler of the team. Always letting us down. Not always letting us down, but questionable on why they are getting paid. So for Bozo of the year, this is fresh out of my mind. All right, this isn't consistently of the whole season as a whole. All right, this is like from the last game. Big Bozo. We're gonna give it. I need to say his name right. Jason Sanders, bro.
Wow,
The kicker.
Yeah.
From the last game.
No, yeah, but
Completely.
even the entire season, he hasn't hit a field goal from beyond 50 yards.
Yeah.
And we used to think of him as one of the most accurate kickers in the league. I agree.
Now he's not.
I agree.
You know,
I think-
his leg is questionable. I don't know what happened, but he's not playing as
Yeah.
good as he should for a kicker.
There's zero confidence in me whenever I see him kick, and that was not the case before. I used to think he was automatic from anywhere. So I think we had a couple players you could have picked for this, but I think that's fair.
Yeah, I wanted you to pick someone else.
I wanted you to pick a little.
Nah,
one
bro,
of-
it's
one
still
of
fresh
our-
in my mind. Jason Sanders, I'm on
right.
you, bro. I'm on you.
I think you're being a little kind to your guy, but whatever. I'll take it. my pick personally is going to be Chase Edmonds. Even though
Chase Edmonds not even on the team.
he's no longer on the team. But who would have expected him to not be on the team at this point? When we signed him, everybody thought that he was going to be like a dependable first option at running back. He comes into the season, everybody's hype. He's on the first team back in the depth chart. And then he has an absolute stinkers throughout the first couple of games he played. He wasn't catching passes, wasn't even effective in the run, and that resulted in him getting traded. So that's why he's been the worst player on the team. It's been so bad that he's not even on the team anymore because of it. So
Yeah, that's like a shout.
yeah, Chase Edmonds, Bozo this
Big
season.
Bozo, big Bozo.
Well, since you guys won't say it, I will. I said it last week. Xavier Howard, man.
No, that's my guy, bro. But
He was gonna be my pick until I thought about everything that went on with Chase Edmonds.
Well, I did think about Edmonds too when we first thought about this segment. Just because, he was a real disappointment.
Yeah.
Just all those drops, poor running back.
But what's going on with Xavier, bro?
But Xavier Howard, man, just the standard that he's put in for himself and where he's at right now is just completely different places. On top of that, he gets paid superstar money, and he's just not that lockdown corner anymore like he used to. He's had good games this season, but he's had some really bad games. The Bengals game comes to mind.
Off the top of my head, I can think of the Steelers game. He was insanely good.
He was good.
Shut down Claypool, but other than that,
against a rookie quarterback.
yeah. To be fair, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He has been injured for most of the season. He hasn't been like 100% the entire year.
It's just the standard that he's put for himself. He was an all-pro.
Yeah. You expect him to be a Pro Bowl cornerback and get like a handful of interceptions all year. How many does he have this year? Does he not
I don't
have
think
any?
I think he has one fumble recovery.
Yeah, but I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure
he has a
has
single
I
interception
don't
so
think
far.
he does. And like a couple years ago, he had the
He
most.
led the league,
like
yeah.
eight-
So off
eight
the
or
top of my
nine.
head, I can't remember if he had any, but we haven't seen him disrupting passes like that. And honestly, he kind of gets baked on the regular
I know.
by receivers that aren't even like upper echelon receivers in the league. So I agree. He was going to be my pick until I
Yeah.
thought about how bad Chase Edmonds was that he's not on the roster anymore in his first season.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to you. He's my favorite player still to this day, but I'll give it to you.
I respect it.
He's not having a great season.
I get to touch the bad players too. It's fine.
It's fine. All right, another award. Most mid player of the year. Absolute zero for the team. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just there. All right. And for my pick, I think we all agreed. Mike Gesicki, bro. I mean, come on now, bro. Last year, a couple years ago, you were one of the top tight ends, and this year you just kind of fell off.
To be fair to him, I still think he is a really good tight end, one of the best in the league. It's just he's not part of the McDaniel system.
Yeah.
He likes tight ends that can block and receive, like a Travis Kelce, George Kittle type of tight end. Mike Gesicki isn't that. I've always said Mike Gesicki is just a tall wide receiver. So he's not going to fit into the McDaniel scheme. So I guess that's why his targets and his numbers are down. So I just think it's a little harsh to pick him. But I agree. He's been the most okay player. Hasn't been bad necessarily, but he just hasn't produced the numbers we know him to produce.
Yeah, I think when we acquired Tyreek, it was pretty obvious that his targets were just going to go plummeting down. So I agree with the Gesicki pick. Another person I would just say might get backlash for this, but so far, Nick Chubb just hasn't put up the stats. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Nick Chubb?
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb?
Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb.
Sorry. Bradley Chubb hasn't put up the stats yet.
I mean, he's still
2 games
new.
in.
That's
Two
a
games in.
crazy pick in my opinion, actually. I'm not
Okay.
going to lie. Considering that he's 2 games in.
Okay, but we just gave all of us agree Jeff Wilson's.
Because he's
but
been putting up numbers.
He's made a
no surprise.
huge impact.
Okay,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they
could be
both
playing-
arrived at the same time.
Yeah, but Bradley Chubb has been disrupting pass. He's been good on pressures and disrupting,
Yeah.
a team's pass game. So I think he's been
And then
okay.
He also gave up a record-breaking game to Justin Fields. But
That is true. True. But I'm
Big
not gonna
balls
put
on
that
move.
just on him though.
no, of course not. No, that's why I say
Yeah.
I agree with Gesicki. I'm just saying
Yeah.
if we wanted to throw another person out there. So far in 2 weeks, I give him the rest of the season. I'm sure he'll be fine. But
I disagree. I think that's a crazy pick. I'm not
I
gonna
think
lie.
I think he's gonna do well overweight for the Miami Dolphins. It's finally time to go back into, a regular playing mode. We're gonna go up against the Texans next week. The worst team, can we say that? The worst team in the NFL with the 1-5-1 record. I mean, shoot, coming back from the bye week, I think it's gonna be easy. We're playing at home against the worst
Yeah.
team in the NFL. They had, their times. They played up against the Eagles. They put up a good fight against the Eagles on Thursday night. But other than that, Dameon Pierce, surprising player, putting up ridiculous numbers for the Texans. But then again, they're the Texans.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, we have this game in the bag. What do y'all think?
I could not think of a better opponent for us to play coming out of the bye week. I mean, we just got the team rested up again after a crazy first 10 games of the season. We're gonna play the worst team in the league at home. Hopefully jump to 8-3 because we have a really tough schedule going on. I mean, the next 3 games are against teams that are gonna be in the playoff mix. So, I think it's a really good game just to get back up to speed and move on into the rest of the season. I'm expecting the Dolphins to roll this team over. If they just rolled over the Bills, I don't think we should have a problem with this. I mean, not the Bills, the Browns. I don't think we should have a problem with this team.
yeah, Texans have lost 5 straight. I think it speaks for itself. They're a rebuilding team. Davis Mills does not look good this season. Dameon Pierce, like you mentioned, is a very good running back for a rookie. Probably going to be in the mix for offensive rookie of the year. I think with Chris Olave, one of those two. But I think we're going to win pretty easily in this one. I don't see them putting up much points. They haven't been putting up much points in their last few games. And like you said, we're coming off a bye week. Everyone should be rested. Another week of practice where the new people can kind of get more into the mix. So I think we'll be good in this one.
All right.
You guys have score predictions?
Score predictions. All right. I don't know where to go with this one. I'm going to be honest. Because I said they can't keep a win by a large margin.
Mm-hmm.
They win by a large margin.
Yep.
All right? We said this about the Lions, about the Bears, and nothing. It's been a close game. They go up against the Browns, shockingly blow them out 39-17. They're coming back from the bye, they're going up against the Texans. I don't know how they want to play this. I don't know if they want to play down to their level or if they're just going to show the world, yo, this is what we're doing on the bye week. We don't take no breaks, right? I think they're gonna win by a acceptable margin, a convincing margin.
I think so, too.
Nothing too high.
Yeah.
I think we could start Skyler this weekend and win by convincing.
Exactly, bro.
Skyler might actually see the field.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
He saw it last week or 2 weeks ago.
So I'm gonna just say we might win 27-7.
Okay, so my default score when I think a game's gonna be a blowout is always 34-13. So I'm gonna go 34-13 Dolphins.
I agree it's going to be a pretty easy win. I'll say 33-10. I think that the defense is going to play well coming off a bye week, so I'm expecting a big win.
All right. So we have the predictions in.
Before we close off the show, I want to quickly talk about the rest of the season.
Okay.
Because I think the Dolphins, after the first 3-ish games, we had like a really easy stretch of the season. Obviously, Tua went out, so things didn't go according to plan. But we have a really tough schedule coming up. After the Texans, we have the Niners, we have the Chargers, and the Bills, all 3 games on the road. And then we close off the season with the Packers on Christmas Day, the Patriots, and then the Jets. That is an insanely tough schedule for against 6 teams that are all in the mix
second
for the
half
playoffs.
of the season, yeah.
And all 6 of those teams are in the playoff hunt. So I just quickly want to see what you guys think about that stretch of games and how do you think we're going to fare. What do you guys expect out of this team?
The 49ers just blew out Arizona in Mexico for Monday Night Football. I mean, they are looking like a tough team, Super Bowl contending team, if you ask me. And I just don't know how we're going to put up with the 49ers. But again, we beat the Bills. You know, maybe now that's not saying much because the Jets beat the Bills, the Vikings beat the Bills. It seems like everyone's beating the Bills. But the Bills are the Bills. They're still strong. They're still tough. They're still, Super Bowl contenders. So if we can beat them, right, maybe we have a chance against the 49ers, Also, they're an NFC team. We probably won't see them again unless it's a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Chargers.
That's tough. And
I think they're a little bit overrated. I mean,
that's a big quarterback battle too, though, because Justin Herbert and Tua have always been
neck and neck.
Yeah, and there's obviously still to this day big talks within both fan bases about who should have gotten picked before the others. So that's going to be a huge game considering the stakes for the playoffs as well for both teams. The Chargers need wins.
Yeah, but the Chargers had a lead over Kansas City. Just on Sunday Night Football. Choked it. So who's to say that they can stop it again? They're also not doing so good at home. You would think a team can do good at home. They don't. They're not doing good at home. So maybe we have a chance at Lo-Fi Stadium.
Yeah. And then obviously the Bills, probably the biggest game of the season. December 18th, same day as the World Cup final. I don't know if I'll be watching, but huge game in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think for that one?
I think that we have a chance.
I don't want to go into a full-blown preview because we'll do that when the time comes. Yeah. But
let me just say a hot take real quick, but I'm not going to eat any hot sauce. The
hot take, no hot sauce.
Yeah, hot take, no hot sauce. Tua is the best quarterback in the division right now.
Oosh.
This week.
Okay.
As of today.
As of this week.
I agree.
Okay.
Just because Josh Allen's obviously not 100%.
No.
And we don't know how he'll look at that point of the season. So I think if Josh Allen's playing the way he is right now, he's throwing a lot of picks. Accuracy is way off. I think we have a chance. They've had a lot of injuries this season. I feel pretty bad on the defensive side. This was supposed to be their year, but it's our year. So I think we have a chance to beat them. The division is looking pretty close. Pretty big games this past weekend with the Jets losing. Zach Wilson looks horrible. Josh Allen looks horrible. Mac Jones, not that good. So I think Tua, he's going to take us to the promised land, man.
All right, so sitting at 7-3, 7 games left. I think that's all. We're excited for the rest of the season and the Texans game.
This second stretch is going to be, what determines, if the Dolphins can, go all the way.
Yeah.
They're going to prove to everyone, if they do exceptionally well, yeah, they're a real team, because I think it's been like a debate. It's on the fence. Are the Dolphins frauds? Are they a legitimate team? They beat the Bills, but they've also lost to This second stretch is gonna tell us, because this is not an easy second stretch.
Yep.
So whether they do bad or do good, this is gonna tell us and reveal the truth how good the Dolphins are this season.
Real quick, just before we close everything out, the last 7 games, what do you think the record will be over the last 7? Just real quick.
Damn.
I'm gonna say 5-2.
I was about to say either 6-1, 5-2. I could see. The way that we're playing right now is just.
I think 5-2.
5-2.
I think 5-2. Right. I don't want to give too much leeway, but 5-2.
I agree.
All right. Well, that's the end of the show. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you catch the Dolphins play on Sunday. We're back, baby. And this has been Phin Tank. I'm your boy Esteban, Big Guapo Rodriguez.
I'm Alfredo, the leader of 2 and On.
And it's your boy Ant.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys for watching.